Guys, we're back in front of the greenhouse.
Man, maybe I should be doing some work today.
It's spring fever over here. We got some warmer temperatures.
Woke up to 3 inches of snow, though.
Yeah, so we're not really out of the woods as far as snow goes. And we're not really out of the woods as far as being able to actually get back working on the greenhouse yet.
Yeah, this is probably some stuff I can start doing. Probably in another week. Once the big storm's coming next week, we're going to have like 5 days in a row of snow. After that melts, then I think we'll probably get some work done.
Yeah, we definitely have spring fever over here. Definitely chomping at the bit to start growing some gardening stuff.
Right.
Yeah. But over the winter time, I've been kind of dabbling a little bit downstairs with some hydroponics. I'll show you guys what I've been up to.
Some things we need to finish. We need to really anchor the whole greenhouse to the foundation. That's the next step. Then we align all of the framing. Once the alignment's done, then we can put on the entryway, and then once that's done, we can just start putting the plexi on. And then the plexi requires some nice days to do that. So we're gonna attach them and tape them as we go. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So.
And then once that plexi's in place, I mean, it's going to be pretty quick as far as being able to host some plants in there. So that's why I'm getting a head start right now, getting the ball rolling, getting some seedlings going. People up here love to get their seedlings started in March, and then suddenly, it's like May and they're ready to plant, but you really can't plant outdoors in May here. You can't do it. You will lose your plants. So.
Yeah, I bet when the sun's out on a day like today, it's 50 degrees, it's probably 80 degrees. It'll be 80 in there. So we're gonna have some really warm weather already inside the greenhouse. So
so just getting some seedlings ready for that opportunity. Once we get the plexiglass on and have it, the environment contained, we'll be able to really get growing. And I want to have that shortcut, having those seedlings ready. Couple of different methods going. Hydroponics, which I've done a few years back. I've got some seedlings started outdoors. It's called winter sowing, so I can tell you about that a little bit. And then I've got some seedlings started, or just some seeds put in some little seed pods to germinate. So I've been trying all kinds of different stuff ever since February, just really eager for the growing season ahead. All right, so welcome to the beginning of my garden here. All of these are like little mini greenhouses that contain seeds. And this method is called winter sowing because you can put your seeds out in the winter time when you're getting those freezing temperatures. And as long as you have some condensation in here, it's giving your seeds that those chill cycles that sometimes they need. Anyway, so it's my first year doing winter sowing. Apparently what it does is produce seeds that are really vigorous, and they're hardy, and they're stronger, and they resist frost. Now, I don't have any germination right now. I think it's a little too early in the season. Once they come up, they'll be a little bit hardier to those lower temperatures that we get up here. I just have to make sure that everything stays hydrated, and it's a moist germination method, so you can't let them dry out. But right now, we're still getting plenty of snow, and even though these have been out here for 2 months, within the next 6 weeks, I expect to see something. Go inside and I'll show you my hydroponic setup. I sort of did a upgrade from what I was doing a few years ago. Well, it's been about 2 months since I got my DIY hydroponic system started downstairs for my indoor garden. I'm trying to recreate the success that I had 4 years ago when I set up a mason jar hydroponic system, as well as a deep water culture system that uses an air pump in the water. But disappointingly, this time around, I am not seeing nearly the same level of success that I had. My plants are small, I'm getting yellow leaves, I'm getting root rot, I'm getting pests. All around, it's just been disappointing. So I'm changing all of that. I'm going more technical. One company that's doing that is Vivosun. They have the 5-gallon bucket deep water culture system. It seems like overkill to jump right to a 5-gallon bucket from a small setup that I had, but I know from what I've read that these type of systems are better at recirculating water, providing overall better growth and support of small plants. We have the air pump, we have the air hose, and this is the recirculating drip that goes on the top of the plant so that it's constantly getting fresh water. This is the net pot where your plant is going to go, and these are the clay pebbles that help stabilize your plant, keeping the roots moist but not rotten. I'm excited to switch from DIY failure to plants that thrive with technology. Here's how the buckets look fully assembled. There's 4 connections here to the air pump, which goes to both buckets. The lid is the entire net pot, and there is a hose connecting to the inside rim. There's actually a drip irrigation that comes in through the top. And then your nutrient solution goes into the bucket, and then you have a separate air stone right here. This is what's going to provide the aeration. That's in the bottom of the bucket. And one of my favorite features is this water level indicator on the outside. So if you look really close, you can see there's a red ball that tells you where your water level is. And you know, it's hard to see because everything's dark colored to discourage algae growth. If you've seen some of my other videos, you can see that as my hydroponic grow has progressed, I've had a lot of algae growing. All right, so the next step would be filling up the water to the appropriate level. They recommend keeping it right below the net pot. So where this drops off, I'm going to be using a diluted nutrient, so about 1/2 of a teaspoon per gallon to fill up my buckets. Okay, right at the bottom of the bucket there, at the net pot, the net basket. Let's see if I can get this one to the bottom of the net basket. Okay, all right, water filled. Now the next part is to put in the clay pebbles. So I'm gonna kind of resituate my drip hose there. Just kind of get it a little bit more level. And then putting in washed clay pebbles. So the seedlings I'm gonna be transplanting are arugula and bok choy. It's been over 2 months since I started these plants and they're so puny. I'm hoping that moving them to a bigger system that can more evenly hydrate them and recirculate the nutrient is going to be a solution for helping these plants grow big and strong. So that's my hope. I'm going to actually leave them in the rock wool rather than trying to pull the rock wool apart, maybe just a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of situate these on top and then add in a few more clay pebbles around. And because I have so much room, I'm actually going to put 2 plants in there. So the roots on this one are pretty long. Just going to kind of nestle them in there and we'll see what happens. But it should be easier to kind of get these plants more supported with all the clay pebbles. So carefully adding back more clay pebbles and then I'll rearrange afterwards. Okay, now for the bok choy. The bok choy is 2 plants as well. I'm going to see if it's possible to separate them. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. Just to give them a little bit more space. The seedlings have been transplanted into their larger containers. I'm excited to see how this all works. I'll keep you guys posted in a few weeks to let you know how they turn out. As you can tell right now, the bok choy is not even above the surface of the container, and arugula is only about 2 inches tall, so I can't wait to see the progress. Again, this is Vivosun's 5-gallon DWC deep water conditioning recirculation system. I'll have a link to it in my video description and a discount code for you as well. All right, this is where everything is living inside. So, yeah, I've got a little mini garden started. And can't wait to transfer everything into the greenhouse when it's ready. The hydroponic bucket's here. I got another hydroponic here. And then I've got my seed starts in here. All the other seed starts are in here. I don't know how you guys are doing in your part of the woods. Are you seeing temperatures going back and forth? You know, the classic March comes in like a lion and out like a lamb in a lot of places. But I know for us, it's definitely bipolar weather. You know, we're having t-shirt weather, we're having snow, back and forth this time of year.
It's been like that a good chunk of the year too, actually. So even the colder months, we've had 60-degree weather. So
it looks like one more week of wintry weather ahead of us. So maybe a lot of snow coming. But the thing is, these days, when it snows 3 inches, by the afternoon it's already gone. So it doesn't really stick around too long. As you can see behind us, not too much snow, but this morning everything was covered.
Yeah. In fact, it was raining last night when we went to bed.
Yep. Yeah, it just turned over to snow. But there's a birds around, and actually a moose came around earlier this week, kind of snooping around the greenhouse, trying to see what was going on. So that was really cute. It'd be funny to see what they think of it, but when it's all complete. Hopefully nobody's trying to break down the door trying to get in. Anyways, folks, that's the spring update from our homestead. We'll catch you next week. Take care.
Bye-bye for now.